Hi, and welcome back to the Senior Network. I'm your host, Greg Fulton. We are here at the Cypress today, Hilton Head, and we're now joined by Nonna Story. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Be back again.
Yes, and Natalie Lucas with Optimal Hearing. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Guess what?
What?
1992.
Oh, wow. I heard.
In March.
The Cypress opened.
Wow.
We built our first phase, started building in September of 90, and opened in March of 92. And my first move-in was actually on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's what I remember walking in. An aviator. No, you guys were the cutting edge prototype for everything coming in the next 20 years. Really interesting.
And they
been
stay
great.
on that front end, even today.
Right.
They really do.
Yeah, it's been great. We just are so fortunate. The developer, Jim Coleman and Mark Punerary, did such a great job, and they actually opened a Cypress of Charlotte and a Cypress of Raleigh, later on. But so we've been open for 28 years.
Can you tell the people who may not know what the Cypress really does or is, explain sort of conceptually?
Oh, that's a toughie. The Cypress is an independent community that also has a nursing facility on site, a skilled care center on site. And so the idea is, I'm the broker in charge, and the idea is that we sell these homes to our folks coming in, and they have to be independent when they move here.
Okay.
And then whatever happens in the future, of course, we're here for you.
You know what's really interesting in tying this together a little bit is Natalie and I have spent a lot of time talking about, because I wear hearing aids, so of course I'm really into the hearing aid. Oh yeah,
do?
I love them. I've worn them for about 3 years and I'm obsessed with them.
I want to know about them.
Oh, they're fabulous. You got to talk to her about it. But one of the things that's been interesting is, you and I talk a lot about, does hearing affect you cognitively? And I know that one of the criteria is you have to be able to live independently. And kind of tie this together for us, because there's a huge study that's just come out.
Well, the first thing that jumps into my mind when you talk about living independently is safety.
Correct.
So number one, you've got to be able to hear a fire alarm, to hear the smoke alarm, to hear the microwave or the tea kettle. And so part of living alone is being able to maintain your surroundings, and hearing is a big part of that. I have some ladies who are single ladies who I know like to sleep in a hearing aid just in case somebody were to break in the middle of the night, in those terms. But then also cognitively, if you're hearing well, you're warding off dementia and Alzheimer's. And so
because we're engaging, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
and that keeps you in your home longer. I know you guys have some beautiful homes here. And, if you can stay sharp mentally, then you can continue to live on your own
quality
longer.
of life. Exactly.
Well, one of the things that's interesting about, for me anyway, and you have taught me a lot too, is losing hearing. Sometimes you don't even know that you're losing it. Like I didn't know, except that I was working with teenagers, and I told you this, and I found myself, like this, and pretty soon they're like, back off, right? Because I felt like I could hear them.
Right.
But you realize you really didn't hear them that well.
You could hear parts of what people are saying a lot of times in the beginning of hearing loss, but you may not be hearing the whole message. And then what happens is you're leaving it to your brain to fill in the blanks, and then you start messing up sometimes. Your brain messes up, right? So you misunderstand, or you miss the joke, or you hear the wrong thing. And so that a lot of times is how it starts.
Yeah, just, you think about vision, you get your eye checks every year, things like that, but we don't do anything for our hearing on a regular basis.
That needs to change.
Yes.
Yeah, what's that
about? That needs to change. I think it is just going back to old stigmas of not treating hearing loss, and of hearing loss being an indication of a level of mental handicap.
Okay.
And I think that goes way, way back. But yeah, you're right. We start testing eyesight early, and we need to know what our hearing is too.
Let me ask you a question about that, kind of for people who would live in the Cypress or in a community like this. I would think transportation and being able to get to different appointments and things like that. I mean, pulling it back to home.
Right at home.
Exactly, right at home too. Do you have services where you could take folks to their appointments?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. In fact, we have 6 Cadillac sedans.
Oh, wow.
And on a daily basis, we're scheduling folks.
I
that
know a
don't
lot
wanna
of your
drive.
drivers, they bring patients to
Oh,
my
do they?
appointments.
Oh, that's
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll take folks all the way out to Highway 170. As you know, that's to Beaufort and Savannah. And there's no charge for that. It's just included in what they are paying for in their monthly fees.
And they're really great because when I'm done with an appointment, I can call on their behalf.
Oh.
If I'm going to have a quick appointment, sometimes I'll ask them to just, hey, can you hold on for 10 minutes? Your drivers are really, really great.
They're awesome.
Walking people in and making sure they get there safely.
Well, kind of pulling it all together still with that in mind is those are things I don't think you realize. At least I don't think about it getting older, like, will I be able to get to an
Yeah,
appointment?
exactly.
Right?
Yep, you don't.
I mean, and now
We don't think about
we
that.
don't.
And the other thing is, I think we because, as you said, because we can hear,
Right.
we don't realize that we don't hear that well.
That's
You know what I
probably
mean?
very
I
true.
think to have an exam once a year or once every 2 years is critical.
Yeah, what is
I
the
do.
recommended, is there a baseline when I need to go ahead and start having an exam?
You know, there is
Start
not
having
a,
an exam.
Colonoscopy.
Yeah, colonoscopy
Right.
exam, whatever.
But you know, children,
shoulder,
children
knees,
need to
and
know
toes.
too. You don't know
Sure.
if a child
there are
has
no
issues.
established guidelines. I think that is coming. I think it should come where we have some established guidelines on when do we need to start checking for kids, you know, for adults, kind of like a breast exam, a mammography,
Sure.
or a colonoscopy. But at this point, we don't. And so I just start recommending, you know, when you get into what I am dead in the middle of right now, middle age, start thinking about that, you know.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. There's more to talk about with this. Stay with us.